Okay, so this video today is about your role as a leader in the context of change. Think about the last big change your team went through. Maybe we were bringing on a new software program, we were adjusting the ways that teams work together. There could have been a change at the top of the organization. Initially, we're focused on the day-to-day disruption that's going to be created through this change. But under the surface, people are feeling a lot of different emotions. Even when people agree that a change needs to happen, they can feel nostalgic, concerned, or unsure about where they fit. Okay, so your role as a leader is not to eliminate discomfort or make them think everything's going to be okay. In reality, you're a guide for your team through the roller coaster that is change. So typically we describe change as having three distinct phases. The first phase is the disorientation phase. This is when we become aware that there is going to be a new way of doing things. The second phase is the reorientation phase. It's when we're getting our footing and trying to find our way. And then the last phase is often called the new normal. It's when we've started to get used to the way things are now. What's our role throughout the journey? In the disorientation, people are often feeling strong emotions, and a lot of times they're negative. They might feel regret or loss, worry, fear. They may feel confused. And in the context of these emotions, it's helpful for leaders to show up as good listeners. In fact, you may be the person communicating the change. So a great question to ask is, well, we know that we have to go through this change. I'd love to hear from you how this is going to affect your experience. So your role as a leader is to acknowledge that the change feels disruptive and be a sounding board for what the team needs. You may say something like, I get that this is disruptive. Let's talk about what's actually changing and what's not changing, and let's talk about what you need right now. In the reorientation phase, your team is really working on finding their footing. And so you are supporting them through the frustrating part of trying to find their way. Their experience might include things like doubt, experimentation that falls short, setbacks, and even moments of growth. Your role is really to act as a guide through this stage. You want to give structure and clarity, help the team break things into smaller steps, encourage learning through trial and error, and definitely stay away from perfectionism in this phase. Invite the team's collaboration and input, and reinforce progress that's made along the way. When you're talking to a team in the reorientation phase, you may say something like, we don't have this figured out completely yet. Let's take it step by step. Okay, when we get to the new normal, things are starting to make sense. Your team has gotten its footing, and most people are in acceptance about the change that's happened. In this phase, energy begins to return to the team. People begin to feel more motivated, and you are there to keep things going strong. Here are a couple ways that you can show up. Definitely celebrate wins and acknowledge how far the team has come. It's important to reinforce the new habits and systems that are making things work better now. It's also important to keep expectations clear and help the team refocus on the long term. Something you might say to the team is, we've made tremendous progress here, and I'd like to shift us to thinking long term again. So the next time a change comes up in your organization and you're the person who has to walk your team through it, begin to think it out in these three stages. How can you support your team through the disorientation, the reorientation, and guide them to the new normal? Once you know how to support your team, you face less resistance to change and much more cooperation and participation.